All right. All right, we are live. At least on one platform. Got to get the Amazon. Excuse me. Losing my voice already. It's not even 11 a.m. All right, we're going to get cooking here on Amazon in just a second. And we'll get moving. All right. Actually, I got to get one more thing. Hang on a second, everybody. I just got to get something from upstairs, and we will begin our live stream here. And let's wait for my Amazon thing to go live. There we go. And you get to hear my squeaky doors again. I just got to get a power supply that I picked up the other day. Let me find, there it is. So you can all see what I've got on hand, which is the rule here on Amazon. You got to have product on hand. And boy, do I ever. The good thing about doing what I do is that I accumulate most of what goes on sale over the course of the year. So if I do my job during the year, this is where it all comes together. All right, so got that, got this, got my phone. And Kevin is joining us once again. I checked out your videos. It was really, I meant to reply to you. That was awesome. So what a rewarding job, I think, to help people find their way. Good stuff. Skylar is here. Good morning. Travis is here. Good morning. And you're running, yeah, I was going to suggest that, like maybe just like filter out the modem upstream, right? And that would resolve the issue. So this morning we're going to, I've been meaning to get to this. Excuse me. I've been meaning to get to this. This is the Fire HD8. And this is a, here it is. Hang on one second. I've got my 8-bit controller here. This is the 8-inch new tablet. They're also selling like bundles with the older one, but this is the newer one. They all look the same, but they perform differently. And I got this a couple of weeks ago, and I just never got around to reviewing it. So what I thought I would do this morning is start the evaluation process so I can shoot it next week. Because I'm sure it's going to stay on sale throughout the holiday season here. So we're going to unbox this. And then around 2 o'clock or so, I'm going to do another stream. I've been looking at all, I have a mess of stuff in front of me. I'm just, what a mess this place has become. I have a whole bunch of stuff that's on sale. So we'll do a stream where I show that, but also answer people's questions. The stream will be entitled Middle-Aged Tech Guy Answers Your Questions is how it'll, how it'll go about. And let's see, I'm just going to look for the specifications on this one. So this is the 12th generation Fire HD8. It has a MediaTek MT8169A processor. So that is what is inside of it. And it has 32 gigabytes of storage. This is not the Plus edition. And so this one has 2 gigabytes of RAM, but the Plus has 3, is what I believe the deal is there. And I think, yeah, so this is the regular one. And to be honest with you, if you're buying one of these tablets, I don't think people push these things far enough to warrant the extra memory. Both can take an SD card up to a terabyte, so that's good to know. I'm just putting in some notes here as I'm building out my spreadsheet for this. And by the way, I also I bought this the other day because when I was in Florida doing my NASA coverage, my power supply was getting overloaded. I like to carry like these multi-power pack kind of things. And the one I had wasn't providing enough power to my MacBook Pro. It kept resetting itself. So I went with this one. This is the Anker GAN Prime 747, and it's got 150 watts of total power, but it can do 100 out of one of these ports. I think this one. And then it rebalances things based on what you have plugged into it. But it's rock solid. The only issue is that it is very heavy, and I would have preferred if they had a cable that plugged into it. So I'm going to get an extension cord to extend this, so because otherwise it hangs off the wall. And they have this really weird thing. I did a review on Amazon. I haven't put it on the Snippets channel. Yeah, it's going to be up on my video I'm going to upload for Saturday. But I ordered an extension cord because it's very heavy, and if you don't have like a really strong outlet, it's going to fall right out. So to rectify that, rather than give you an extension cable, they've got this weird suction cup thing that attaches to the back of it, and it like sticks itself to the outlet. But I don't know. I just feel like it would have been better just to have, I mean, I know they wanted to go for the flip out thing here, but maybe if they did kind of what Apple does with their power supply, which is that you can have the flip out or you can do the removable plug thing, I would have preferred something like that. But beyond that, it's a great power supply. I love Anker's stuff. So I bought that the other day. And it's currently on sale. It's not cheap though, it's 88 bucks, but it's high quality and it's not going to fry your stuff. So for me, that's sometimes having that peace of mind helps. Wyatt is here from the Philippines. Andy G is here. We'll get to unboxing this in a second. David Langley is here. Ron G, I picked up the Fire. No, I think actually, let me look and see, because I have a feeling that they've been harmonizing the processors on these. So if I look at, so this is a MT8169A. If we look at the Fire HD10, the HD10 has always been the leader in performance. So, I mean, it's maybe a little faster, but it's marginal. It is, though, only running Fire OS 7. So I don't know if that limits you in any way. But it's also got a bigger screen. So I think that one is still probably a little more powerful than this one. But we shall see. Now, it does say in the specifications that it can do 32-bit and 64-bit applications, but we'll look into more of that in a little bit. Let's see here. Because the 10 is limited to, I think, 32-bit only. Yeah, we'll take a look when I run some benchmarks on it, how it compares. So they did say they made it thinner and lighter. It's a new color palette. And they added some, yeah, so the Plus version has more RAM, a better camera on the back, and a unique plastic finish, and wireless charging. This one does not have any of those things. So I went with the lower end of the line here. I'll take a few more questions, then we'll open it up. Yep, and Homestar and Daniel, everyone, yep, it is more powerful, even more powerful than this one. I would expect, though, that later this year they're going to have a new one. But honestly, it's not going to matter much, because I think for what people do on their tablets, it's not going to matter much. I'm pretty sure, Skylar, this one is USB-C, which is why I've got my, my multi-purpose USB-C charger here. Let me see. I can look it up exactly and see what it's got. It has, it doesn't say on the developer specs. I'm pretty sure it's USB-C. The last one was USB-C, if I'm not mistaken. Recipe Bob is here. Thanks for helping out, Ron, everybody. Tristan is here. Stan is here. Hi, Stan. Do I have any, I don't know what you're asking. HTO? Let me know, fill in the rest of those words for me. And Adam, yeah, it seems like it, they're decent, right? But, and I think the warranty on this one is less. By the way, it is USB-C. And this one is also the ad-supported model. So let's pop in here and see what we've got. So here is the tablet. Now, like the prior version, they have centered the webcam, or the front-facing camera, and here's your back. Now, this one has the lower resolution rear camera because it's not the Plus. So I'm going to make some notes on that too. And then also in the box here is you have a USB charger. My eyes are getting bad here, but this is a 5-volt, 1 amp. So it's a very low-powered 5-watt charger. And then it also has a USB-C to USB-A cable in here for charging. But I've got that capacity already, so I'm going to plug it in with my stuff here in a second. The screen looks a little dim just because I haven't turned up the brightness yet, and I've got studio lights shining down on it, so I would imagine that has some impact there. But the good news is you're still getting a charger in the box, because that's becoming more and more, unfortunately, rare these days. Partly because I believe in Europe now, the mandate is that you're not supposed to include the charger at all. But they still charge the same for the phones and stuff, so they're making more money from a government mandate. How about that? All right, so put that away here. And we'll see if we can brighten the screen up here after I log into it. So I'm going to go English United States. And a lot of times these will come already equipped for your Amazon account. I don't know how they manage that. I guess they must know the serial number that they shipped you, right? All right, so we're going to do the connection here. And yep, so see, it already knew that it was me. But what it wants from me is my Amazon password. See, it says, "Hi, Lon." So I do need to type my password in. In the old days, like, you used to fire these things up and it would just be like, okay, we're ready to go. Excuse me. I don't think I'm getting a cold, but my voice has been a little scratchy today. All right, it could be this is the dryness of winter. So I have a password manager. So I have this crazy password to get into my accounts with. And I got to type that in. So we're going to be doing a couple of streams today. So this is the first of a few that we'll be doing. And if you have questions, obviously you can leave them on the YouTube side. And if you're watching on Amazon, you can leave them in the chat here. And I will respond. And our 2 p.m. stream today is going to be me answering questions directly. Oh, I got the password typed in wrong. Hang on a second. One problem when you have a password manager, when you get a device like this, I'm really looking forward to the day where we can get to a passwordless process of logging into our accounts. Crazy Romeo is joining us on Amazon. Thank you for stopping in. Hi there. All right, I got to go do a 2-factor authentication now, and then we will be in. All right, there we go. Now, I got this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it came with about, well, at least it has 73% or so left on the battery. And I am going to not restore my last Fire device. And we got to do our opening video here.
From watching movies and reading books to asking Alexa for the weather.
It's very clear for its audio.
Try asking Alexa to play music or movies, make calls, check the news or your commute, and more. Just say Alexa to get your tablet's attention. Alexa, what's the weather?
Currently, in Olympia, you'll see lots of clouds with a high 49 degrees and a low of 39 degrees.
And find what you want to watch. Alexa, show me action movies.
Here's what I found.
With show mode, Alexa Alexa provides visual responses you can
All
see
right,
from
so
across
I'm
the
just going to
room.
get everything set up
Now
here.
your tablet is even easier to use while you're doing other
Okay.
things. To
Give
get
a little charge
started,
here while we're
just
going.
plug your tablet in and say, Alexa, switch to show mode.
Okay, so
Ask
that's right.
Alexa to
All right, let's get
spawn
through it. Blah,
primetime
blah, blah,
show.
blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we'll skip through the
Enjoy
rest of
your
this.
new Fire tablet.
Thank you. I will enjoy it. And I need to turn the screen brightness up a bit because it is definitely... All right, I need to set my screen lock password here. All right, oops. I didn't want to connect to Goodreads. No, 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 no. Oh, great. I'm stuck. I can't get out of this. Ugh. All right, let's create a new account. Okay. All right, try again. I'm totally stuck. I'm stuck in this Goodreads thing. I can't get out of it. Maybe I'll just reset it and see if I can. I'm going to do a restart. I got stuck in Goodreads. Now, I don't have my 8th gen tablet to compare. They do say it's thinner. It might be. And it may have stereo speakers. We'll test that out in a minute, too. Now, one thing to note on these is that they don't have the Google Play Store on them, even though they are running Android. Anthony Bianco is here. And unfortunately, I haven't done a lot of testing of 1440p monitors lately, so I don't have a recommendation for you there. So maybe somebody in the chat might. And yeah, I would agree, Homestar. The displays are pretty good at with these. I think they buy enough in volume that they can get something decent. Logic KGR is here. Good morning, sir. And Darren is here. I agree with this sentiment. Connor Lavoie is here. Yeah, you know what I did is I got my wife a password manager too, so we can share the passwords back and forth. And Connor just got some Rokus. Yeah, the Rokus are pretty good, especially the inexpensive ones, because they've subsidized the hardware cost with all the content that they offer now. So, and yeah, I've never been a retail camper. I once got caught in a retail camping scenario because I had ordered an iPhone 4. I went to pick it up at the store. Even though I'd already paid for it, I had to sit online with everybody else, which was not pleasant. It was like an all-day thing. And Ya Cheng is here. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of lives today, so I'm a little bit early. And you can put the Play Store on it, but it's not easy for most consumers to do it. Mike Sparks is here. So, and it puts you in a mode where it's not an intended use case. And I'm really mindful of that because of the fact that my audience typically for these things, there's a lot of onboarding. So what I am going to do, though, is turn the brightness up a bit here, so that'll help. Yeah, this way it looks pretty good. It feels on par with what we saw before. And I am pretty sure that this is, let me see what the resolution is on this display. You know what's funny is okay, it's a 1280 by 800 IPS display, so it's on par with what it was before. And, you know, for a device like this one, you know, this is essentially a 720p display. It's not bad when you have the pixels kind of, you know, squished down into this mode here. All right, so now I'm going to go into the settings because I want to see, what did I want to see in here? All right, we have 25 gigabytes free, or just about. Now, the big issue with this is that if you go into the App Store and you look for example, YouTube, you don't get YouTube, you get like this web wrapper. And this is because Google services, wait a minute, did they add YouTube to it? No, so this is not YouTube. Doesn't even say who the developer is. I don't think this is the real YouTube. Let's see if I hit contact develop. Yeah, so it's like some random. And so this is like the one issue that I have with this is that there's some, I don't say there's risk, but if you search for YouTube, the Amazon solution, see how all these fake YouTubes are here? So this one, this blue one, is the one that Amazon offers, which is kind of like a web wrapper, which works, but it's not, it's not the app experience. But those other YouTube examples are not YouTube. And what I'm looking for here is the audio. So there's a little video that I like to play, stereo right, left. Is it? Here it is. So I'm just curious if it plays in stereo here. So let's take a look. Yeah, it might be. All right, so that's the left. Yeah, so it's got stereo speakers on it, but it has to be in this orientation. They are upward firing, so they're up here, but there's no speakers on this side here. Here, I'll give you another, let me zoom in on it a little bit. I got my little Amazon stand that I will set up here in a second too. I bought this stand a little while back, which is really helpful, so I can kind of display it. I'm not sure if this is on sale today, but this is the Amazon Basics tablet stand, and I like it a lot. It's pretty rugged, too. All right, let's take some questions here. Saeed has the old Fire HD. Yeah, you can get them on sale. I think they're like $55 today, so it's pretty inexpensive. But yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the problem when they don't have a good path for getting Google apps on these things. I mean, YouTube is something that a lot of people like to do on their tablet. So the one I would suggest, and by the way, I don't want to say it's sketchy to load the Play Store on here because the process is fine, but you're doing an unsupported activity to get the Play Store on it. And so that's why I recommend if you're a general consumer that's not interested in, how do you get out of here? So now I'm stuck in the app here too. Hang on, does it go from the bottom here? Yeah, I'm like stuck in the app. There we go. Go back out here. It does do picture-in-picture too. Okay, so let us maybe run a benchmark on this first. Actually, let's check and make sure there's no updates. So we'll go back into settings here. I'm willing to bet there probably is an update somewhere along the way here. So we'll go to System Updates. And there is an update available. Of course there is. I don't think these things are necessarily wasteful. I think they serve a need for people that are looking for, I mean, for $55, if you want to get a kid a tablet, I mean, you can't beat the price today, for sure. So there's use cases here for these. I mean, for a long time there was a lot of, and they still are out there, these generic Chinese tablets that had no support behind them. You didn't know what was getting installed on them. This is made a little better than those. And granted, there's a lot of commoditization of the parts here, but there's a consistency to the quality. You know what you're getting. It's got, a good amount of support behind it. And if you want to, you can get the Google Play stuff going. Yeah, so Ken, I bought mine about 3 weeks ago, and it was dormant also until I got it going. But we'll get there eventually. That's why today was a good day to do it, because it just went on. I think it's like 45% off right now. And this is the new one that's 45% off, which is a good deal, I think. Why doesn't it have the normal Google apps? So the reason is that many years ago, when Amazon first released their tablets, Instead of designing their own operating system, they took the open source component of Android. So the Android operating system is largely open source. So you could grab that open source code and fork it and make your own whatever. But the Google components of Android, YouTube and Gmail and all the login stuff that they do, that's all closed source. So Amazon would have to license all of the Google apps and the code in order to ship a device with those apps on it. And at this price, you're not going to get that. So the solution that you can do, let me go look up the exact name of everything here, is you can go out and install it yourself, and then you can get access to all that stuff. And every once in a while they change something, you know, so like it's not something that is going to be very consumer friendly. So I say to consumers that just know what you're getting into with this. If you really need the Google stuff, there's a process, but you might be better off just buying a Google Android tablet that has the actual, you know, licensed code on it. So there is a software package that you can download. I forgot the name of it. But if you go on and look at the ways in which you do it, it's a process. And again, it's not something that my mom's going to do, right? And I think I did a video on it, or at least I had installed some things on it initially, but we'll let that update go through. Waldick is here from Poland. Hello there. Hope you're doing well out there today. I was at the national headquarters for the amateur radio here in the United States, and we talked to somebody in Poland with a radio, no satellites, no internet, just transmitted. You can check out my tour of the ARRL and see what we did there. It was pretty cool. And Said wants to know what I recommended. I do recommend this for people that are on a really tight budget. You're not going to find, especially today. So normally this is like $100, and today it's 55. So, you know, I think for people that are just consuming web pages and some light app stuff, these are fine. And it kind of doubles, and I'll show you this when we reboot it here after the update. It'll double as an Echo device. So you could set it up on a stand like this, keep it plugged in, and it'll just be like an Amazon Echo that you can shout at across the room. It's pretty useful. And exactly, so what Leopard is asking here, is it good enough for 720p movie and YouTube watching? Yeah, it is. What I want to check is whether or not that YouTube app will run 720p video, or the web wrapper that they have on it. Yeah, Fire Tool, that's what I was thinking about. I mean, it's not hard to use necessarily, but there's steps to it that, you know, require taking down some of the security settings. Like there's, again, I'm not, you know, for those of us who are technically inclined, it's not a bad thing to do, but yeah, it's the Fire Toolbox. And it's like a one-click thing which will do all that. But you got to get it installed on a PC. You got to plug it into your computer. You got to go through all these. Like every guide that I look at requires a significant amount of steps that I think is going to be overwhelming to an average consumer. Yeah, that's exactly it. Fire Toolbox from XDA developers. But here's exactly it. It takes a while to get it. Yeah, and things change too, right? So it could work one day, and then you get a system update, and then it stops working. And Jason points, yeah, it's a very fun project tablet. Absolutely. Especially today, $55 if you wanted to start messing around with different launchers and OS updates. It's pretty neat. Yeah, I've done a lot of, so my license right now limits me on some of the high frequency bands, but when I was at the ARRL, I had a control operator who was licensed for the bands that I was using. So he was, you know, supervising my activity. So that's how I was able to reach them. And they have some awesome antennas there. So we basically pointed the antenna at Europe and just saw to see how far we could get with it. It was cool. But yeah, it's fun. It's a fun hobby. I'm going to try to get my general license here in the U.S. over the winter, and that will allow me to start transmitting further out. And Jay Boogie, thank you for the kind words there. And it makes a good e-reader too, absolutely. Yeah, I do prefer for reading, I actually like the e-paper of the regular Kindles better. And what I think I'm getting this next week, I had ordered from Amazon, they have a large format, what is it called? Because I saw it, I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Because Amazon had they always release a bunch of different devices. And those typically do pretty well on my channel here. Yeah, it's coming on the 30th, which is in 5 days. It's called the Kindle Scribe. And it has a 10.2-inch 300 ppi display, e-ink display. And it has a pen. So it's a Kindle with a pen. And it just looks interesting to me. So I picked one up because I'm curious what that's going to be like. Because I've been seeing some of these e-ink devices with pens, and it looks a lot like paper. So I was like, that's kind of cool. All right, we'll wait for this thing to boot back up. And then we'll run some benchmarks on it. Now, one thing you can do, by the way, the Google stuff is harder because you have to get all of the underlying Google systems installed on it. But one thing you can do is install Android apps as a side load. So you can go to APK Mirror and just download the app and then install it that way. And that's not as much of a heavy lift. By the way, another thing that you'll see on here, I really do want to go to Australia. When you turn on the tablet, so this low-cost version is subsidized by advertising. So for example, this is the lock screen. I just turned it off, and I'm going to turn it back on again. And so you can see that I'm getting ads that are rotating every time I turn the tablet back on and off. No impression that time. Let's see, let's do another one. Yeah, it looks like it probably limits how many ads it displays in a short period of time. But, I am interested in visiting Australia, so that might be kind of a fun trip to take with the kids. I don't know if they can handle a plane ride for that long. So the 10-inch tablet has not yet been updated. I would expect that update mid-year, because they're working on the second year of its development at this point. All right, so now let me show you a couple other things here. Let me unlock the tablet and jump into it real quick. So let me go, whoops. I'm also going to disable the sleep mode here, so I don't have to keep unlocking it. All right, oh, okay, there it goes. Now, I do want to see if I can change my wake word for the A word so that we don't set off all of your devices here. All right, so we are on the latest version of Fire OS. You'll see here that its voice recognizer or speech recognizer is on. And I'm just going to go in here real quick and just adjust the display sleep mode here. So we're going to say screen timeout. I'm going to set that to 30 minutes because we're plugged in right now anyhow. All right, and then this is show mode, which I'm going to show you in a second here. And I do want to see if the wake word can be changed. So let's do a search for that. All right, I can change the wake word. Oh, only 2 of them. So I'm going to change it. I am going to change it to Amazon at least, so that way I don't set off most people's devices. Usually what I do is I set it to computer, which is what I use on my regular Echo devices. Does Amazon still make phones? They do not. They do. They used to sell, so they stopped making phones, and then they were doing phones that they installed their app store on, which were subsidized. But I don't think they're doing that anymore either. But Ted says you can buy the Fire Phone used. That must be a collector's item at this point. Thank you, Leopard. I try to do that. You know, it's important, I think, to have that. I think, unfortunately, too many people are on the payroll, if you will. All right, so let's do, watch this, okay? Amazon, enter show mode. So now it's in the Echo mode. And so when you have it set up like this, it works like an Amazon Echo device. If you ever used, oops, sorry, I said the A word. If you ever used an Echo, this will look very similar and familiar to you. So for example, I can say, Amazon, turn off the studio lights.
Please disarm your security system manually.
Okay,
To enable disarm by voice, open the Alexa app. Go to devices.
I think she misunderstood what I was asking. I was going to have her turn the lights off in here. Let me try this again. Amazon, turn off the studio light.
Please disarm your security
Yeah, it didn't
system
seem to work. Let
manually.
me see if I have it. I must have to
To
install
enable
the skill
disarm
again.
by voice, open the Alexa app.
Let's try
Go
something
to
different.
devices and edit your security system settings.
Amazon, show me the backyard camera.
Okay. I couldn't find a device or group named Backyard in Lon's profile.
All right, let me go back and look and see. You know what happens is I add so many devices and take so many devices away that things like in this house constantly change. So let me jump into my Amazon account here. And see if I have it set up properly. Well, this happens every once in a while. Like everything gets wiped out. Hang on a second. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking. So what you do is on your A-Word app, you can set your extensions. And so right now it's just kind of running through the weather because it's working like an Echo Show would work. Amazon, what's the weather in New York City today?
Right now in New York, it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit with showers. Today's forecast has clouds and showers, with a high of 53 degrees and a low of 39 degrees. I also wanted to tell you, I can now help you shop for holiday gifts. Would you like to try it out?
Yes.
Okay, let's get everyone crossed off your holiday gift list.
There you go.
Here's my first idea.
She's got some
Don't
ideas
sweat
for
the
us.
small stuff at the last minute.
Got it.
Want to hear a suggestion for stocking stuffers from Amazon?
Yes, please.
Here are the product details from Amazon. PlayStation Dual Sense Wireless Controller, white. It's $49, with delivery by tomorrow. Would you like to add it to your cart?
No.
Okay. For more similar products, just say more like this. Or to hear a different idea altogether, say next.
All right, how do I cancel and get out of this thing? Yeah, so it functions a lot like the Echo Show does. And what I wanted to do is just show you another thing that you can do with this, provided I can get my cameras functional here. Let me go into. Oh, I can do the front doorbell. Let's try that. Amazon, show me the front doorbell camera.
I'm not sure I understand. Whenever you'd like, you can ask me to help you with holiday shopping.
I don't want to shop anymore. Amazon, cancel. I think I'm stuck in a loop here. So now to get out of this, how do you get out of this thing? So we're going to go. There we go. All right, so this is my I think this is my studio lights. Let's see. Nope, that doesn't seem to work. Let's try cameras here real quick. Nothing is working. So I think my Wise account is got disconnected from Amazon. Let me go back and see what's going on with this thing here. Yeah, it seems to be like it won't let me leave until I buy something. There we go. All right, let's try this again. And I'm going to reconnect my my Wise account, and that might be why. So I don't use a lot of the smart home stuff. I review it, and I use it, but not through a smart device. I usually just connect directly with their apps. Yeah, and so they've got the refurbished 2020 ones. Yeah, those are in good shape. And I haven't done much with amateur astronomy, although I got a telescope recently, and my daughter and I looked at Saturn, and she was so excited to see the rings of Saturn with her own eyes. It was really fun to watch her reaction to it. So we'll probably do some more of that over the winter. It's really good. We have good stargazing where I live, so we're going to probably do a little bit more with that. And David uses an 8-year-old one as an alarm clock. Yeah, they work well for that, because when you have them in this show mode, it is for all intensive purposes, you know, it's just weird that none of this stuff is working. Let me see if my Eufy camera is working with this. What I need to do is, like, I want to just reset my whole smart home, because I review so many smart home items that things get totally out of whack, because I have things that come on my network and then I take them away, and it gets to be this whole big to-do. But I do have a camera in my backyard, which I had connected to Google, but not to the Echo environment here. So let's see what we get there. And then we'll run a benchmark on it and see how it does. But this is one thing that I like about it, is that when you're not using it as a tablet, it's an Echo device. And I believe the new Fire 7s do support show mode. So that is the difference there. All right, we're going to let this thing find something. Hopefully it finds my cameras. If not, we will figure out a way to get back into the tablet mode. So how do we get back to the tablet portion? Maybe we hit the button here. No, it does that. Amazon exit show mode.
Please unlock your device.
Okay, there we go. So you have to verbally request it, it looks like. And now we're back to, there we go. So now we're back into tablet mode. So you type in your PIN code and then you're back into like the tablet mode there. All right, so let's see. Let's see if it works now. Amazon, show me the backyard camera.
Okay. I couldn't find a device or group named Backyard in Lon's profile.
Amazon, show me the front door camera.
Okay. I couldn't find
Yeah,
a device
I got to
or group
redo everything.
named Front door in Lon's profile.
This was working the other day, so I don't know what's going on with my Amazon stuff here. Sorry. And now every time I say the A word, can you plug dongles in? So yes. And actually what we could do, let's see if we can get that to work. That's a good question. I have my SDR upstairs. I could try to plug it in. So it's got a USB-C port here. I'm pretty sure it supports data devices. Actually, what I was going to try is plugging in my game controller first. Let's see if the 8BitDo controller gets detected. And in order to know what it's doing, we need to get a game installed on here too. I think I have Sonic CD on my account. Yep, I do. Let's download that real quick. One tap download. No, thank you. All right, so we're going to download that real quick. And let's see if this works. And then I think if the controller works, because it's already lit up here, so it's definitely... Yeah, Fire Toolbox, if you want to play around, is something I would recommend to techies, not to general consumers. But yeah, it works well. I was able to get a tablet working with that pretty well, actually. All right, so let's open up. Allow. Okay. Oh, love that. That's my my 90s, I was not a child in the 90s, I was a teen, well, I guess I was kind of a child, I was a teenager. All right, let's, oh yeah, it works. So the USB connection here works fine. Now what I do though, is I change the audio on this. Where's the region setting? Let's see. Yeah, soundtrack. You gotta change, I have to, I mean, the Japanese soundtrack is arguably better, but the US got a different soundtrack. All right, hang on. All right, let's go up to, it had a great intro movie. Can you all hear this? The sound is actually, I mean, all things considered, the sound is pretty good on this tablet. And so it played this little movie. And what was cool about Sonic CD on the Genesis was that it actually, the game data was substantially larger. Even putting aside the CD audio and the animation here, it really showed what you could do on a CD system. It wasn't necessarily better graphics, but it was more game. They could store more graphics, right? They could do things they couldn't do with a cartridge. And then, of course, the Sega CD was like a whole nother Genesis, basically. Oops, there we go. Yeah, so this is plugged in with a USB-C cable. I didn't pair it up with wireless here. Definitely feels a little laggy, but that's par for the course on a lot of these Android tablets, believe it or not. But seems to be working fine. Oop. I totally forgot what we're supposed to do right here. Oh. But you get the idea. Seems to work. Yeah, so in this case, plugging in the game controller here worked. I could go upstairs and grab my RTL SDR and see if that works too. Because it could actually work pretty well as a software-defined radio if it does support that. Oh, that's cool. You set up a Quest 2 with SDR. Oh, that must be really fun. Yeah, SDR++ is amazing. So for those of you who are not familiar with software-defined radio, you can tune into shortwave bands, amateur radio bands, public safety, everything. It just all works. It's really cool. Frosty Winnipeg is joining us. It looks like it's getting frostier out there, right? We're getting closer to winter. So it's starting to feel a little more chilly here. All right, so let me grab my benchmarking thing. So what I have done on my local network is I put some Android apps, APKs, on my network. 192.168. Oops. Oops. .2.227 slash, this is on my local network, 3D Mark. And what it's going to do is download an, oops, sorry, I don't know why it thought I said something there. What it's going to do is it's going to download a Android APK. So this is an Android app that we can install without having the Google stuff on there. And to get to that file, I think I have to go back out here. Let's see, downloads. So there it is. So it's on my tablet now. And I do have to enable the browser to install unknown apps. And now we'll be able to run the 3D Mark benchmark with a recent version. Yeah, I'm eager to see what Google does with that. Because remember, Google like dropped tablets altogether, and now they're like, oh, we're back in the tablet game again. So then it was like, we're not doing Android tablets anymore. And then it was, we're going to make Chrome OS tablets, and now they're back to Android tablets again. It's almost like they just go whichever way the wind is blowing, right? One thing I'm noticing is that it keeps thinking I am triggering it. So I'm going to turn off the voice for a little bit. All right, so we've got the 3D Mark benchmarks here. Wildlife is the one I like to run, but it won't run because I don't have enough RAM on this tablet, and the extreme test either won't run. So the only one that we can run is Slingshot, which is okay because I have a lot of data. So we'll be able to see data from prior tablets that I've experimented with. So we will be able to see how this one performs comparatively. And what I like to do with this is a couple of things. One, oops, shoot, not that. Hang on. One is I like to disable the demo mode just to make it run quicker. And then I run what they call the unlimited. But you know what I'll do first is I'll run the regular one just so you can see let's just take a look and see how it performs. And this is an older benchmark now. I've been running this one for 7 or 8 years, I think. So Wildlife, I think, is kind of the new standard. But it's fun, though, just to run this like this to see what the capabilities are. And it's getting about 7 frames per second, which on the surface sounds bad, but for what it's putting the tablet through, it's actually, I don't think it's that bad, actually. Martin Paolini is here. Hello there. Yeah, these are on sale today for $55. So if you wanted to get a tablet to play with, I think it's a good deal. I paid twice as much for it a few weeks ago when this was $100. I always get the new Amazon tablets right when they come out, and I just didn't get a chance to review it. I was doing so much traveling this fall back and forth for that Florida trip. It probably cost me, but what are you going to do? And so let this benchmark run out, and then I'll run what they call the unlimited one, which runs it off screen, just to get a sense as to what it is able to do. But this doesn't necessarily, even though it doesn't feel like it's running smoothly, it's not indicative of this thing being a poor performer, at least compared to the prior models. These tests push the hardware really hard. They're designed to make the hardware choke like this. Yeah, I think they're getting back into that because they had released a Chromebook tablet that was like, up there. It was Intel powered. It was up there with the iPad Pro, and then they just dropped everything. Mohammed Shah is joining us on Amazon. Thank you for tuning in on the chat there. Amazon Live is very saturated today, so I'm not sure how many views I'm going to get on Amazon today, but I figured, it's Black Friday. We'll stream all day today. Why not? Help out some folks. All right, so Mozid wants to know, can you use it with a wireless keyboard? Yes, it does support Bluetooth, and as a matter of fact, do I have my keyboard nearby? I could show you it working with a wireless keyboard. My workspace has become a total disaster zone right now because I've just been traveling and running around, and I haven't had any time to organize myself. So things are just literally all over the place. And then my wife has been cleaning up the house and took everything of mine that was in a room in which I have no territorial stake over and has moved it all down here in a pile in the back. So she warned me. I tend to spread myself out a bit. And so now, like, everything is not where it needs to be. Oh, here's my keyboard. It was right below me. So yeah, so this, here's a keyboard. We'll hook this up with Bluetooth real quick, and I'll show you. So if we go into, and I'll pull up your question so we can see how that works. So we'll go into settings here. And what I'm going to look for are Bluetooth settings. Oops, I'm already typing on it. All right, so now, Bluetooth is off. We're going to turn Bluetooth on. So it looks like by default, Bluetooth is off, but it has Bluetooth built in. Now this keyboard is capable of both Bluetooth and dongle connections. So on the top of it here, I've got a little dongle, which I can plug in directly, or I can pair it up with Bluetooth. So I've got it in dongle mode right now, but I'll put it into Bluetooth pairing mode. And I'll go to pair new device. And it's already showing up here. 9/8, restart the YouTube stream. All right, we are back. Okay. I don't know if YouTube is doing this to discourage people from streaming in 4K, but it's like every 55 minutes. It's like that, that episode of Battlestar Galactica where they have to like jump every 33 minutes or whatever. Okay, so keyboard works fine. So if I go to the Silk browser here, I can just type things in, no wires. See? And you've got yourself pretty much a full computing experience here, right? So I can move my mouse around and click on stuff. Nehemiah Tosi is here. Hello there. And there you go. So fully functional. You can write the next great American novel on this. Good stuff. All right, so now what were we doing? We were back in the 3D Mark benchmark here. And so what I'm going to do now is run this as the unlimited mode, and then I'll have my number that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go over here to, let's see, oh, they always change these things. That's extreme. So Slingshot, and we're going to run Slingshot Unlimited. Now what this does is it runs it off screen, so it doesn't have to wait for the screen to render or get all screwed up with that. So we're going to do that real quick. But yeah, I think if you're looking for like a fun little tablet to play around with, this is a good one, because this one just came out. They knocked almost 50% off the price, so it's 55 bucks. I mean, it's cheaper than a video game, if put it into that perspective. So I think that's why I wanted to start today's live streaming extravaganza with a run through of this tablet. And you know what? While that's running, let me see if I can find. I've got like a little hub here. This one might be this might be a fun one to try out. It doesn't do video output, unfortunately. So be aware of that. But I will try to plug this. This little hub has USB. The HDMI is not going to work, but it has power pass-through, and it has a 240 gigabyte SSD built in. So we'll see if that works on it, just to see how the thing works. And yeah, it's like clockwork on YouTube. The second I hit 55 minutes, it knocks everybody out. And I had written in to, so I have access to YouTube. I don't have a YouTube person anymore, but I do have access to their customer service thing, and I emailed them on that. And for a couple of weeks, they were following up every couple of days to tell me, oh, we're going to fix it, we know there's a problem, and then they just kind of gave up on it. So I don't know if I'm just an outlier because I'm streaming at 4K because I can, or what. Hey, David Bound is here. It was fun to meet David in person at the Retro World Expo video game convention. That's always a fun trip for me. I like going up to that. Fuels, a couple of things each year fuel the soul. One is visiting NASA. The other is going to Retro World Expo. And we're going to let this benchmark finish up here. Then we'll experiment with a few other things. But yeah, basic transportation. But it's fun, like we've been pointing out, there's a tool set that allows you to install the Google Play apps on it. So you could, for example, install, YouTube proper YouTube, and a few other things too. All right, we'll let that finish running there. But I'll probably review this for next week. And we'll just let this finish up. And then what do you think I'm going to have for lunch? Take a guess. I can tell. I think I know what everyone's going to say. At least if you are if you celebrate Thanksgiving. That's right, man. I got the 4K, and I still have like 5.5 gigabits left that I can still use. Bob is cleaning up the kitchen too. See, I got it all down this week. I did a really low-key Thanksgiving this year because my sister-in-law was hosting out in Boston, and today's a really big day for my channel because all of the year's work kind of culminates with the holiday shopping season. Most of what I do is telling people not to buy things, but this is where like I am the busiest. So on Black Friday, I like to stream all day. Yeah, I take a break. So we're going to take a break around lunchtime, and then I'll be back around 2 o'clock, and we're going to do an epic live stream of me answering people's questions if anybody shows up. And yes, turkey leftovers, close, and David gets the win, a turkey sandwich. That is what I'm going to do. And then tonight it'll probably be turkey soup, and tomorrow it'll be turkey stir fry. I don't like wasting things, so we're going to get as much mileage out of it as we can. It's also not about wasting things, and now it's been more like the conversation my wife and I dread every night is what's for dinner. Our kids are picky eaters, so, and we're picky in the sense that we don't like what our kids like to eat, so it's become a challenge. All right, we're gonna let that run through here. This takes a while, but I got my keyboard and mouse attached, so it'll be a little easier. So yeah, I mean, it supports Bluetooth. Obviously, it supports Wi-Fi. I don't think it supports Wi-Fi 6. And Mohammed's in Boston. So I am not in Boston because so my sister-in-law was hosting this year, but it was going to be something where I had to like drive back and forth. I wouldn't have been there all that long. So, and my mom just had my sister visiting, so I figured I would go hang out with my mom and my sister. So that's what I did last night, and we had a lot of leftovers. So that is going to be lunch today. All right, we're just waiting for this to finish up here. And then I'll record this and I'll show you some other things. Oh, hey, the Backbone controller is on sale. That's a good deal, everybody. I was just looking on Amazon here. I may I'll probably add that to my stream at 2 o'clock. All right, we're just doing that last test, and then we'll have some results. All right. It looks like we are done. So we got about the same score we did on the other one, but I like to run this one because that's what I run on all of them. So if you go to Lon.TV/benchmarks, you'll be able to follow along here. And what I'm going to be looking for is the Slingshot Unlimited benchmark. And the prior version of this tablet got a score of 937. This one is 1245. So it is moving on up in the world here. So performance-wise, it's still low end, but it's less low end than it used to be. And I'm going to have to do one other game on here just for the demonstration purposes. And it's going to make many of you cringe, but being a dad of kids, I know what kids are looking for. And there are two things. One is Minecraft, the other is the dreaded Roblox, but we got to try it. That downloads pretty quick, doesn't it? And this time what I'm going to do is pair up my controller over Bluetooth. So we're going to go in and I think we're going to put this into Bluetooth mode. So we'll turn it on this. Actually, I got to hold down. Forgot the commands here. You know, I'll just plug it in. Be easier. Okay. All right, so let's try out the old Roblox thing here and see how that goes. Okay. And then I got to remember my password. All right, so from a performance perspective, this is definitely better than the HD8 from 2020. So we have probably like a 20% boost there. And there was some discussion about the HD10. So the 2021 HD10 is still the more powerful device. So it is still on top there. All right, now I got to remember my Roblox password. Do I even know what it is? So I have my kids logged into Roblox, but I can't remember how I don't think I have their passwords stored on my thing here. Great. We have to set up a different account here. Let's go. Yeah, I don't even know how my kids are logged in. All right, well, what I'll do here is just create another account. I'll sign up. And give me a second, I got to type in a whole bunch of information. By the way, these guys make a lot of money. I don't know if you are aware of how much money these people make, but it's ridiculous. I guess you can, they have like a revenue share with people who create stuff on there. But all right, I got a password here. Let me just do create one on my password manager. And yeah, this is all. Give me 1 second here. I got to just do a password that I can remember. Doo-doo-doo. All right, I got one. So let me save that. And I'm going to click sign up here. I'm doing this for the kids. Something went wrong. What went wrong? I want a Roblox account. Come on now. There we go. Okay, so now, don't get locked out, and we'll do that later. Okay, so now I'm going to search for the one my kids play with, Cookie Swirl C World. My kids like Cookie Swirl, who's like a prolific toy YouTuber. There we go. Cookie Swirl C World. That's it right there. And this one I know will be safe. Yeah, and she's a fellow YouTuber, so we may as well support the fellow YouTubers out there. All right, so now we've got Roblox going in. So we call this, that ZX81 or ZX81. In the United States, we called it the Timex Sinclair 1000. And that was my very first personal computer when I was in kindergarten. All right, so now wow, that's not running too good, is it? Let's see if I can get moving here. Yeah, Roblox doesn't seem to run too well on here, but let me see. I'm going to quit and come back because I just plugged in the controller also, so that might have had an impact on it. So I do remember Roblox running better on this lower end hardware. So we'll clear up some space here. Let's try it again. Yeah, we call that the Timex Sinclair 1000. And MS MMR 1982. My Thanksgiving was great. Yeah, they should all get one. It's cheap. 55 bucks for, it's like we're kind of turning it into a full-fledged computer here. We got the keyboard out. You can't output to a display with it, unfortunately. Well, you got a DualSense controller for 40 bucks, Frank Mueller. That's not a bad deal. And Anthony's going to take a day off from Turkey. I don't blame you. All right, now it's running better. So now I'm actually using the controller with it. Yes, it's laggy, as to be expected. And you know what I might do, just so I don't have to load this game up again in the future? Oh, what happened? It just went out on me. It crashed. This could be the RAM limitation we're dealing with here too, but I'm going to just create a B-roll folder here for this thing. Just bear with me here for a second, folks. Fire HD8. Just so I don't have to go through the torture of loading Roblox up again. So it looks like it crashed and rebooted here. So I don't know if this is due to the RAM limitation, but let's see what happens when we do it again. Yeah, so it's very laggy. It looks like it was laggy due to the fact it was still drawing the world in, but now it seems like it's doing a little better. Have you all been following the drama of the Roblox oof sound? That's first-person view. Ah! Does he die here? Where's the sound? Oh, I just go into Never Never Land there. I guess you can't die in Cookie. Oh, he died, but there's no oof sound. So I guess the guy that's doing the Intellivision Amico owned the oof sound from some prior game that he did or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely on the laggy side. I'm pushing forward and he's not moving. It seems like whenever it's got to draw in stuff is when it bogs down. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, I can't remember if I have Minecraft on my Amazon account or not. Let's see. So I'm going to say worlds with a lot of objects in them are going to be problematic here. Yeah, that's definitely enough B-roll. Oh, I guess you can. Yeah, I guess you can Chromecast it. Couldn't? Can you Chromecast with this? Because I don't think it supports that either, right? You could do. Maybe you could do mirror casting, perhaps. But you're going to get a lot of lag in the sense of gameplay kind of stuff. All right, let's kill Roblox here. So that's not a great experience. Sonic CD was fine, right? Let me see if I have Minecraft in my library here. Oh, I do have it. Perfect. So let's download it. Minecraft, I think, will probably run a little better. And let's see how that does. Almost there. All right, installing. Still installing. Do, 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 do. I'm going to send out a tweet right now, too. All right. I just tweeted. Okay, so now we're going to open. And let's see how this works. So this is Minecraft, and I have my 8BitDo controller attached. All right. I got to sign. I always got to sign in. I don't think you have to sign in for this, do we? We don't have to do that. Let me cancel that real quick. And this, of course, is the mobile version of Minecraft. And look for a full review of this next week. And we'll just have it create like a random world here. You know, I wonder if, you know, this has 2 gigabytes of RAM, the Plus has 3, and part of me wonders if some of these apps, which used to run fine in 2 gigabytes, are now looking for more, right? And I'll put it in creative mode here. And let's go ahead and create. All right, proceed. Takes it a while. Am I downloading more RAM? I wish I could. I could have bought the Plus one, but I wanted to purposely buy the low-end one to see how it does. Yeah, I guess Wise did announce some new routers. I might take a look at them. I'm a little nervous about that because it's not their repertoire, right? And what happens with me is I find something that works and I'm like, I don't need to look at anything else, right? So the Unify stuff, even though I had some issues with it, is doing much better now. Yeah, Minecraft works pretty nicely on here. Let's get a little B-roll shot of that. Look how fast that runs. That's much nicer than Roblox was. Granted, it's got a lot of fog here. So the draw distance is not far, as you can see. Is that the end of the world here? I mean, that might be the end of the world. But as you can see, we'll fly over this mountain of Minecraft, whatever they are, blocks. So definitely a lack of draw distance for sure. And a little lag hit there as it's loading back in. I'm guessing this world, this isn't very big, but the frame rate seems fine. But definitely more playable than Roblox was for sure. Yeah, I might take a look at it. The one thing that I can't really test very well is, how secure they're going to be over the long term. And I always get nervous when you've got companies that don't specialize in home networking begin to go in that direction. And I like Wise stuff a lot, but I don't know if that's, like, I don't know where they're getting their router hardware from. Are they developing it in-house? Is it, right? So those are the kinds of questions that I am curious about. All right, so, oh, look at that. That was a weird one. I didn't like what I just plugged into it. It says, check your charging port due to moisture or liquid detection. But there's definitely no liquid anywhere near this. Let me try plugging the power cable back in. What I did do is I plugged in this hub here, and it said it had detected moisture. Yeah, it is not fast. It's faster than the old HD8 was, but it's certainly not up to par for, I think, what most people would be looking for. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, so now it's charging. It didn't like, oh, look at this. How low power is it if it only comes with a 5-watt charger? So I have this running right now through my fancy, yeah, it doesn't like this thing at all. So it doesn't like USB-C pass-through devices. So hooking up a USB hub might be an issue, although I have another one somewhere. Let me see. So this one is a little different. It keeps thinking it's getting moisture there too, so it didn't like that one. I have another one somewhere in this mess. So I'm just trying to see how far we can expand it if we wanted to do that. And let me just find one more hub here. I had this really nice hub that I misplaced now. It's probably in one of my go bags. Let me go run upstairs real quick and grab that other hub. And we're going to have a fun video up Saturday night, tomorrow night, of everything that was in my bag from my trip to Florida. As I've been redoing my production stuff, as I always do. Hang on, squeaky door, everybody. All right, I think I found the hub I'm looking for. I've got a bunch of hubs. But let's try this next one, which is definitely kind of a generic one, but it's a good brand. So this is a Kingston hub. And it really sounds like it doesn't like USB pass-through. Like if it's detecting power coming through, it doesn't like that. By the way, so I have this, this Anker GAN Prime 747 power adapter. It's a monster. Look at that thing. And so it's heavy. And so their solution, as opposed to just giving like an extension cable versus this flip over thing, is that they want you to use, I kid you not, this suction cup. So they want you to put this on, and this will like stick it onto the outlet that it's plugged into so it doesn't fall off. That's the solution. It seems like just like an over-engineering versus just a, maybe having it just be a plug that plugs into the wall. But I guess their marketing research suggested people prefer something that has an integrated flip-over plug thing. I'm not sure. All right, so let's see here. So let's try it now with, so this is like one of your run-of-the-mill USB hubs. So I plug that in. There's nothing on here right now. So it's got a card reader and a couple of USB ports. So now we're going to take power and pass the power through and see what we get. So here we go. I plugged into the, yeah, oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Does this one pass through power? No, this one does. Okay, this is the right one. There we go. And it doesn't detect the power on that at all. But let's make sure it didn't just disable the port completely. So if we plug in power this way. Okay, so that worked. So power going in directly worked, but the pass-through power doesn't seem to work. Yeah, so that's what was really, that's the solution of how you keep your outlet from falling out of the box, is out of the thing, was this. So what I would have preferred was that you would have a little plug on the end of it and plug a cable into that, right? So my solution is that I bought like a cheap extension cable that I'm going to plug this into so it doesn't have to hang off the wall at all. And then I have a lot more length also, and it's not all that much more going into the bag. That said, it's a nice power adapter because I can just carry this with me. So for example, plug the computer in here. I've got 100 watts that I can draw out of this and still have another 50 available for the other stuff. So I could plug my computer in here, plug my phone in here, charge my watch off of that, and then I still have one left over. So that is that. And Ravaging Wolverine says, my last two tablets before these were the Shield K1. Yeah, my Shield K1 is over there still. I haven't booted it up in a while, but that still works. And that thing was a powerhouse. Unmatched, I think, to this day, with the exception of the iPads. Good stuff. All right, well, I think I've got enough to go on here. You know what I wanted to do, though? Let me see if I can, let's try this real quick before I go, because it might be kind of fun to, a little project down the road for this. I want to download SDR++. Of note is that the default search engine is the default search engine is Bing. So let's find the Android version. Bionic, Vocal, Groovy. So where is SDR++? Is there one for Android? Let's see. I'm just curious if we can get that to work. 'Cause it might be kind of a fun little project for this, right? Oh, this is the Android version. Let's see. Oh, these nightly builds. Okay. It's in the nightly build section. Here it is, APK. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to install, if it's a 64-bit app, but let's see. But this is what's cool, is that because it's Android and you can find an APK like we're going to do here, those will work. Now what I have to do is plug in my, and what I'm plugging in is my software-defined radio. We're not going to be able to pick up anything down here because we're in my basement, but let me go grab one of them anyhow and just see. Actually, you know what I could do? I'm thinking out loud here. I could use it, actually, because I can use my yeah, that's what I'll do. So hang on a second. Let's grab the radio here. I'll grab my radio. Oh, shoot. That was not good. Just dropped the radio. Hang on a second. I was moving too quickly and snagged myself on the thing there, but looks like it survived. Okay. So what I'll do is I will transmit with my radio here, and we'll see if it picks it up. All right, so now to make this work, what I need to do is plug the hub in. And we'll grab this here. All right, so I got the RTL SDR installed here, and I'm so close to it that I don't think I need an antenna to pick up anything. So let's do that. And then we'll load up SDR++. All right. Now, boy, that's really large. And what I need to do is find what frequency I'm on here. So you know what I'll do is I will set this to the regular APRS signal there. Yeah, my secret ASMR live stream where I drop stuff. And we'll go from there. Yeah, so the MacBook uses 87 watts, you're right. So I won't even max it out on that. But I had before, I had like this 60-watt thing, and it wasn't cutting it. All right, so let's go to 144. Can I get to 144? 144.39, which is the APRS band. How do I type in a band on this thing? I've never used the Android version of this before. And you can see it's like, it's blown up big time. Am I even getting any signal? Doesn't look like it's getting any signal or anything. Let's see. You may not be able to pull enough power through the USB for this to work, because I'm not seeing the waterfall. Oh, I got to select the source too. Okay, hang on. Source, there we go. RTL STR. Or SDR, there we go. And I'm not seeing anything yet. Yeah, the screen's not looking all that good here. And it could just be that it's too small, or there's so RTL SDR. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually, let's see. Let's quit the app now that I've made that setting, and let's reload it and see if it works any better. Yes. So I'm not seeing the waterfall, although it could very well be working. Yeah, I'm not sure. I got to figure out why it's so large there. So what I was going to do is just transmit an APRS packet from here, so I should be able to pick that up on this. But I can't see, like everything's so big that I'm missing parts of the interface here. It's definitely picking up the radio though, because it could very well be getting it. Let's see. Yeah, I think what we've got here is just some screen issues. Probably not gonna cut it, but I'll play around with it a little bit more. All right, well, I've got enough to start with here. Got some B-roll shots, so I think this will be one that I review probably next week. So we will come back to this. And by the way, I'm gonna do another stream in about 2 hours or so. That one's gonna have more stuff. And the title of the stream is Middle-Aged Tech Guy Answers Your Questions. That should get some views, hopefully, on Amazon. So that's what I'm shooting for. Oh, that's a good question. Is it designed for portrait mode? It may not be. Let's try that real quick. We'll put it into this mode and see if it does better. Let me reconnect everything up here again and see what happens. The good news is that the hub is working. It's seeing it. And let's see if it works better this way. It does give you a little bit more on the bottom end there, but it's still cutting off a lot of stuff. So source is RTL SDR. Yeah, it might be more for this mode, right? But it's still like everything's like super huge. I'm not seeing a waterfall either. Oh, that box can be dragged to any size, huh? I don't know. Let's see. Let me flip the screen around this way and see. It feels like everything is so big. Oop. This would be a really fun, like, software-defined radio if we could get it to fit on the screen better. Yeah, so I have an RTL SDR, so I'm assuming that I'm selecting the right option here. But I can't see, oh, I see, I see, there we go. That's what you were talking about. Aha. Aha, this might do it. And I think I got to be like it. Oops. Yeah, that's where I need to be, I think. All right, we're making progress. Yeah, I think they must have some resolution issues here. The problem, though, is I am not seeing the waterfall go here. So we should be seeing like a waterfall going here, and we're not seeing that. And technically the radio is engaged right now. So even though it's not picking up anything, we should see like stuff. Let's try the Q branch. I think that's only for HF, but yeah, doesn't seem to be working. Well, I'll keep playing with it, see if I can get it to engage in a different way. But yeah, there you go. All right, well, I'm going to take off for now, but I will be back in a little while, and we'll have a bunch of stuff and see what we got. Oh, is resolution on the bottom there? Let's see. Band plan display. Ah, here we go. Aha. That's it right there. Restart required. Okay, so let's leave the app. Here, you know what? We're not leaving yet. We're going to try one more thing here. All right, RTL SDR++. Okay, I got to actually restart the whole app. All right, so we set it to 100%. So, oops, no Roblox. We set it to 100%. So that should give us, aha, much better. Okay, we're getting there. That did it. Okay, so now I want to set it to FM, narrow FM. Yeah, I can see why they make it so big now. Get in there. There we go. Okay, so we'll set that. And I could bypass the USB hub. I'd have to get an adapter to plug it directly in. But what I'm not seeing here is any activity. Actually, I got this mouse. I could use this. I should be seeing some activity on the waterfall here when I turn it on. So when I hit the play button, that's when it should start generating stuff. But let me change this. So I think this is set too low. I think 2.4 is where I usually set this. All right, so let me see if I have my adapter. Do I have an adapter? You know, one of those off-the-books refresh. So hit that. So it needs to be toggled on, huh? Oops. Let's turn the auto gain control on too. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet here. We're starting to make some progress, though. It is, like, at least from the display here, it's looking good. It's kind of cool, though, when you think about it. You can turn your little tablet or phone into a full-on software-defined radio here. And I'm not sure if I have to select the radio that I want to connect to here. That could be what's going on. Let me see if I can find a USB-C adapter thingy and take the hub out of the picture, as was suggested. The good news is the software is installable, so that's a plus. Of course, I took that out, didn't I? Let's see. So I have these things all over the place, but never where I need one of those things. Well, we could try a different one. Oh, here's one. I think this one might do it. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. Now, hopefully I get this thing plugged in the right way. I always get nervous with these things because they're not quite All right, let's get rid of this real quick. Let's take the hub out of the equation here first, and let's see if that does it. So we'll undo that, and we'll plug this in, and then we'll just super dongle it that way. And now we'll go back here. Okay. Yeah, still not seeing a waterfall here. Yeah. So with the Baofeng 5VUR, is that a radio? Or is that a... So now we're getting super nerdy now, aren't we? So with that, you would not, it probably would not work because this is actually turning this into the radio. Unless that has SDR capabilities, probably not. Yeah, I'll have to play. I think I need to do a little bit more with this, but I should be hearing something. I should be hearing static, so I'm sure the squelch is off. And we should be seeing something. There it goes. Now it's working. I don't know what I did. All right, so now let's turn the radio on here. And you know what I'll do is, what is the, I'll do the VHF calling frequency, which is, what is it these days? VHF calling frequency. It is 146.52. And I'm not going to be transmitting far out of my basement here, but we'll throw 8 watts at it, right? Am I on the right frequency? That's 520. Hang on. 146, yeah, 52.5200. Yep, there it goes. All right, you ready? I'm going to stand on the other side of the room here so I don't blow it out. This is KC1 RGS testing. You know, there's no antenna on that, so it's probably... This is KC1 RGS testing. I'm hearing it through there. I have no antenna on the end of it, so that's probably why it's doing that. But it works. See that? See what we do to answer a question on this channel? We go to all lengths. This is KC1 RGS testing. Yes, it's working. I'm not seeing it on the waterfall because I have to zoom in on it a little bit, I think. There it goes. And now I can make some adjustments, but that's what it should look like. There we go. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so now, see that? This is KC1 RGS testing. Now it's working. Isn't that cool? And you can see it in the waterfall there. Now I've got to, I still haven't tweaked this perfectly yet. And this stuff is, you see this all the time, like there's this interference from different things that come in there, but this is KC1 RGS testing. But pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, on that note, a successful conversion into a software-defined radio, super nerdy, but it does work. Pretty cool. All right. And that was fun. Always fun to work in the amateur radio angle whenever we can. So there you go. My call sign is KC1RGS in case anybody wants to look for me on the air. Right now, I am only a technician. Okay, we're back. And so this is what I have to endure on YouTube until they fix this thing. But it's where you go. So yeah, so unfortunately from the App Store perspective, you can get the Google Play Store on it, but it requires extra steps. And I have found most of the apps that I want to run I can sideload on there, but what really concerns me the most is, and I'm going to bring this up in my review, is that I don't know, when you search for YouTube, these apps that come up here are all fake. And this is the official Amazon one, which is their web wrapper, but it doesn't look like, you know what I mean? I'm just surprised they haven't been able to figure this out yet. So I'm going to make a note of that for my review when I do it. So there you go. All right, turkey sandwich time for me. And I thank you all for tuning in for part 1 of our fun today. And you know, for the price point, $55, you want to tinker with something, turn it into a software-defined radio, whatever, it can do the job. So I think that's pretty fun. And it's the right price today, $55 for a project tablet, which is, I think, a good deal. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. And thanks, Bob, for having me try out RTL SDR++ on it. It's pretty cool. I hadn't played with the Android version before, so that was a lot of fun. And we'll be back with more, including my middle-aged guy does tech questions stream, which comes up at 2 o'clock. So Kyle, I know you're just joining us, but come back at 2 and set your notifications. If you go to my Amazon link in the description, you can follow me there, and then Amazon will actually notify you when I go live. And I found Amazon does a better job with notifications than YouTube does. So take that for what it's worth. All right. I will catch you all on the next one, and have a good lunchtime break, and look for me around 2 o'clock or so, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Let me hit the button. Bye-bye.